chosen one, before the foundations of the world were set, before the sun first rose or the oceans learned their rhythm. Your name was already spoken in heaven's language. You were marked not as an afterthought, not as a backup plan, but as a divine assignment sent into human form. You have carried a sacred blueprint within you since birth, one that the world tried to make you forget. But the time of remembrance has come. You have walked through nights where your prayers echoed back in silence. You have been misunderstood, overlooked, and mislabeled. Yet somehow something inside you refused to break. That something was not coincidence. It was covenant. The breath within you carries the echo of eternity. Even when you felt unseen, you were never abandoned. Every tear was counted. Every scar was recorded in heaven's archive as evidence that you survived what was meant to destroy you. Listen closely. You did not find this message, it found you. The Spirit guided your steps, arranging every second so that these words would reach your soul at the exact right time. Heaven wants you to know your life has never been random. The restlessness you've been feeling, that pull inside your spirit, it is the call of destiny awakening. You are being summoned out of dormancy. When you tried to be like everyone else, something deep inside you resisted. That resistance was the mark. It would not let you conform, because conformity would kill your calling. You have always sensed there was something different about you, a kind of spiritual gravity pulling you towards something greater. That sensation was not arrogance. It was awareness. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to disrupt darkness with your light. You see, chosen ones rarely have easy beginnings. Rejection is their teacher. Isolation is their training ground. Every betrayal was molding your discernment. Every delay was testing your endurance. Every silence was sculpting your faith. God was not ignoring you, He was preparing you. The greater the mission, the deeper the molding. The ones marked from birth are often misunderstood until their appointed time comes. And that time, chosen one, is now. The Word of God declares in the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 4, He chose us in Him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and blameless before Him in love. Let those words sink deep into your spirit. Before the world had shape, before sin had power, before your mistakes were ever made, you were already chosen. Heaven's selection over your life is older than your failures and stronger than your fears. You are not earning purpose, you are remembering it. Every struggle you faced was not proof of abandonment, but evidence of your anointing. Now the divine alignment begins. The heavens are rearranging circumstances in your favor. What once seemed random will start to reveal pattern. Closed doors will make sense. Every person who walked away was necessary. They were part of the pruning, not the promise. The mark upon you is calling what belongs to you out of hiding. Heaven is moving in silence, but not in absence. You are entering a season where the same God who hid you will reveal you. The same fire that tested you will now light your path. You are no longer being broken, you are being built. The years of confusion are about to make sense. The oil you carry was costly, but it will heal others. You will look back and understand that none of it was wasted. Stand tall now, lift your head. You were chosen before time began, and no force in hell can unmark what heaven has sealed. You carry divine DNA. Your very presence shifts the atmosphere. You are not just surviving, you are stepping into command. From this moment forward, walk like one who has been sent, not one who is searching. The mark upon you is your proof of divine ownership. And now, if these words reached into your spirit, let heaven see your response. Like, share, and subscribe so that more of the marked ones can awaken from their slumber. You are part of a divine movement, a family of light across the earth. In the comments below, type 777, a prophetic act declaring, "I received the call upon my life." Let this be your public yes to heaven's plan written over you since birth. Heaven watches as you type that number, sealing your faith with motion. Every act of obedience releases light, angels record your yes, and the spiritual world recognizes a new authority rising inside you tonight. You are stepping from silence into sound, from waiting into walking. Every delay is surrendering to divine timing. Heaven is not slow, it is strategic. The blueprint unfolds now through every choice you make in faith. This is your awakening, the point where destiny meets decision. You will not return to sleep. The mark over your life burns brighter with every breath. Walk boldly, chosen one. The world has been waiting for you. You began to forget who you were the moment you entered this world of noise. The cries of expectation, the comparisons, the wounds of misunderstanding, they built layers around your soul until your reflection grew blurred. You once saw with childlike wonder, but over time, the weight of pain dimmed that sight. Somewhere along the road, you began to believe that ordinary was all you were meant to be. Yet deep inside, a faint memory has never died, a whisper that says, "You came from light." The veil of forgetting is heavy, but it is not permanent. Heaven has decided that now is the time to remember. There are seasons where God allows you to walk in unawareness, not as punishment, but as protection. Had you known too early who you truly were, the fire of that knowledge might have consumed you. You had to be hidden until your foundation was strong enough to bear the revelation of your identity. Think back on the moments when your heart felt an unexplainable pull, as though something beyond you was calling your name. That pull was the divine memory, gently knocking at the door of your soul. It came through dreams, through coincidences that were not coincidences, through the way your spirit responded to words of truth. Each moment was heaven whispering, "Remember." The world around you tries to keep you asleep. It distracts you with constant noise, endless striving, shallow victories that leave you emptier than before. Darkness does not fear your presence, it fears your awareness. Because the moment you remember who you are, you become unstoppable. The moment you awaken to the truth that you are a child of purpose, the forces that once manipulated you lose their power. That is why life has been such a battle. It was never about your comfort, it was always about your consciousness. The Spirit is stirring the waters again. You have reached a divine threshold where forgetting is no longer an option. Heaven's voice is growing louder inside you, calling you back to alignment. You will soon begin to recognize patterns in your past, not as random pain, but as divine choreography. Every heartbreak had a lesson. Every disappointment carved out room for wisdom. What was once confusion is now becoming clarity. When the veil begins to lift, many things will no longer fit. You may notice yourself feeling out of place in familiar environments. Conversations that once entertained you will feel shallow. People who once drew your attention will suddenly seem distant. Do not resist this shift. It is not rejection, it is realignment. God is pulling you out of what is small so He can place you where your purpose breathes freely. The veil was never meant to stay. It was simply the cocoon before transformation. Caterpillars do not know they are meant to fly, yet the design has always been in them. You have been going through your own metamorphosis, hidden from sight, misunderstood by many but watched over by heaven. And now, the light begins to break through. Your memory of divine origin is returning. It was proclaimed in the letter to the Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14. Awake, you who sleep, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. This awakening is not a one-time event, it is a continual unfolding. Every day, more of the fog clears. Every day, your spirit remembers a little more of the truth. You are not what happened to you. You are what was written about you. You are not defined by trauma, but by testimony. The pain was real, but it was never final. And as your awareness returns, so will your power. You will begin to see through deception, sense danger before it arrives, discern truth even in chaos. This is what it means to walk awake, to move with divine perception in a world asleep. You will speak and hearts will tremble, not because of you, but because heaven's authority flows through you. Do not rush this process. The veil lifts layer by layer. With each unveiling, there is both beauty and ache. Beauty because you are remembering your light. Ache because you see how long you lived beneath your potential. But even that grief has purpose. It births humility, and humility keeps power safe. Soon you will look in the mirror and recognize the reflection not as what the world made of you, but as what heaven intended you to be. The eyes that once carried fear will now carry fire. The voice that once trembled will now speak with divine certainty. The heart that once bled from betrayal will now pulse with mercy. This is what happens when remembrance meets redemption. You are awakening, chosen one not to a new self, but to your original design. The veil is thinning. The noise is fading. The divine memory within you is roaring back to life. You are coming home to yourself, and heaven is rejoicing. The stirring inside you is not anxiety, not confusion, it is awakening. That deep ache in your chest, that tension you can't quite explain, is heaven shaking your spirit awake. You are standing at the intersection between what you've known and what you were born for. Everything that once satisfied you now feels empty, and everything that once broke you now begins to make sense. This is the sound of your spirit remembering its authority. There are moments when awakening feels like chaos, but in truth, it is order returning. The breaking you felt is not punishment, it's expansion. God is stretching the walls of your soul so that greater revelation can live there. What used to fit no longer can, because you've outgrown the small version of yourself that the world tried to mold. The discomfort you feel is proof that transformation is taking place. When divine fire touches your life, it doesn't just warm, it refines. When it burns away false identities, illusions, and fears that have long kept you small. The shaking you feel is not destruction, it's deliverance. You're being pulled out of limitation into liberty. And yes, it hurts. Awakening always does, because sleep is comfortable. But purpose rarely is. For years, you've been hearing a faint call in your spirit, a quiet voice saying, "There's more." You've looked around and wondered why you never fully fit in, even in places that felt safe. That dissonance was divine. It was heaven's way of reminding you that this world is not your final measure. You were made for the eternal. That holy restlessness was never meant to torment you. It was meant to guide you. As light begins to rise within you, darkness begins to notice. This is why you have faced strange opposition lately. Things you thought were settled are being stirred up. Don't fear it, it's simply confirmation that your awakening is real. The darkness can sense when someone it used to control begins to remember their power. The closer you get to the truth of who you are, the louder the resistance becomes, but resistance is just the sound of the old self dying. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms. Chapter 42, verse 7. Deep calls unto deep at the noise of your waterfalls. This verse is not just poetry, it is your reality. The deep within you is responding to the deep within God. That's why you can't ignore the pull anymore. Heaven is calling you into depths you've never known before. Shallow waters no longer satisfy you because your soul was built for oceans. Every tremor, every emotional surge, every sudden realization is the deep inside you crying out for its source. You are awakening to your divine frequency, the sound that was placed inside you before birth. When you align with that frequency, you begin to attract divine order. Chaos loses its grip, and clarity begins to flow. You will notice how peace becomes your compass and conviction your power. The noise of the world will no longer drown out the whisper of God, because His voice will now thunder inside you. But with awakening comes responsibility. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot pretend ignorance. The light that's rising in you demands obedience. You can no longer live halfway, believing by convenience and doubting by habit. Awakening requires commitment, the kind that turns revelation into action. You are not being called to religion. You are being called to remembrance. Religion tells you to perform. Remembrance tells you to become. Religion says you're far. Remembrance says you've always been near. The awakening of your spirit is not about striving for God, it's about realizing He never left. You were never disconnected, only distracted. And now, the veil between your heart and heaven grows thinner with each breath. You will start to sense divine timing, divine protection, divine provision unfolding around you like clockwork. You will look back and see that every season of delay was mercy. Every closed door was redirection. Every silence was strategy. You are awakening, chosen one, not because you searched hard enough, but because heaven decided it's time. You are stepping into remembrance, into clarity, into alignment. The fire you feel is the signal that something sacred inside you is alive again. Now, before you go further, seal this moment with a prophetic act. In the comments below, type "I am awake," not just as a phrase, but as a declaration of agreement. When you write those words, you mark your shift in the spiritual realm. You are not hoping to awaken, you already have. You are declaring that you refuse to go back to sleep, that you choose awareness over comfort, truth over illusion, light over shadow. Say it once, with conviction, "I am awake," because from this moment forward, everything begins to change. When you type "I am awake," you affirm heaven's work within you, confessing awareness, surrender, and purpose. Those three words echo in eternity, declaring that your spirit has fully risen. From the moment you took your first breath, the war for your mind began. Not a war of swords and fire, but of whispers and influence. The battlefield was never around you, it was within you. The enemy knew that if he could control your thoughts, he could contain your destiny. Every lie, every seed of doubt, every fear you've ever wrestled with has been part of that silent conflict designed to keep you blind to who you truly are. You see, the mind is sacred ground. It's where faith is born or buried, where truth either stands or crumbles. And since you were marked by heaven, your mind has always been a target. The darkness has studied you since birth, watching what wounds you, what distracts you, what silences you. It never feared your circumstances, it feared your clarity. Because once your mind aligns with the mind of God, no chain can hold you. For years, that battle has disguised itself as anxiety, confusion, overthinking, self-doubt, or even perfectionism. Those weren't personality traits, they were weapons. Subtle strategies designed to exhaust your spirit and drain your focus. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you if he can distract you. He doesn't need to silence you if he can fill your head with noise. And so, you fought invisible wars that left you smiling outwardly but bleeding inwardly. Yet the truth is this: your mind was never meant to host fear. It was designed to host faith. You were meant to think like royalty, not like a prisoner. Every stronghold built through pain can be torn down through revelation. Every false belief can be uprooted by truth. The key is awareness, seeing the thought for what it truly is, not for what it pretends to be. Scripture says in the letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation does not begin with miracles, it begins with mindset. The renewing of your mind is the renewing of your world. When your thoughts shift, your reality follows. God never asked you to fight darkness with fists. He asked you to defeat it with focus. That's why the enemy wages war there, because if your thoughts stay scattered, your purpose stays hidden. Look back over your life, and you'll see the pattern. Every time you were close to breakthrough, something came to cloud your clarity. Every time you began to rise, voices both external and internal whispered, "You're not enough." Those weren't coincidences, they were coordinated attacks. But the good news is, awareness ends their power. Once you recognize the tactic, you reclaim control. To win this war, you must guard your gates, your eyes, your ears, your tongue. What you allow in will either feed your freedom or your fear. Pay attention to what you consume, the conversations you entertain, the media you absorb, the people you keep near. Your atmosphere affects your agreement. That's why peace is not weakness, it's warfare. Every time you choose peace over panic, you frustrate the plans of darkness. Every time you silence the voice of fear with faith, you reclaim territory in your mind. You don't need to argue with every lie. You need to replace it with truth. When thoughts tell you that you are forgotten, you remind yourself that you are chosen. When doubt whispers that you can't, you declare that you already have victory through divine purpose. Understand this. You are not your thoughts. They pass through you, but they do not define you. You are the observer, the one seated higher than the storm. When chaos rises, take authority and speak life. Your words carry the same breath that formed galaxies. When you speak with faith, you dismantle darkness without shouting. God's desire is not just to free your life, it's to renew your mind so completely that freedom becomes your default. You were meant to think differently, to dream boldly, to see beyond what others see. You were not built for fear, for worry, for smallness. You were built for wisdom. The mind of a chosen one is a sanctuary. It holds visions that transform cities, strategies that heal generations, creativity that reflects heaven itself. Protect it. Don't let negativity take residence where God intends revelation. Feed your thoughts with truth and you will starve your fears to death. So now, as light breaks through the shadows of confusion, remember this clarity is not found by striving, it's found by surrendering. The more you let go of fear, the more your spirit can think freely. The battle for your mind is not just about peace, it's about power. Because when your thoughts align with heaven, everything else must bow. Your mind is no longer a battlefield, it becomes a throne of revelation. Peace sits where panic once ruled, and the thoughts of heaven begin to shape every moment of your life. You walk now with divine clarity, unbothered by noise, unmoved by lies. Every thought becomes prayer, every decision prophetic. The war within ends, wisdom reigns where confusion once lived. There comes a moment in every chosen life when heaven whispers, "Come back," not because you were lost, but because it is time to return to alignment. You may have wandered through seasons of confusion, disappointment, and delay, but every path, every detour, was always leading back here to remembrance. The recall of heaven is not a command shouted from the sky. It is a gentle pull, like the tide calling the waves home. This is the season of divine return. You are not being asked to chase something new. You are being invited to rediscover what has always been within you. The same light that once flickered faintly in your soul is now being fanned into flame. The same voice that once whispered in your spirit now calls you by name. Heaven is not angry. Heaven is ready to align you again with your original design, your original peace, your original fire. There are moments when the pull of God feels both comforting and terrifying. Comforting because you sense His love. Terrifying because you sense His holiness. But the recall is not about perfection. It's about proximity. Heaven is not asking you to be flawless, only willing. The Father does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Every failure, every fall, every forgotten prayer can be rewritten in a second when your heart says, "Yes, I'm ready." The prophet once wrote in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 7, "Return to me, and I will return to you, says the Lord of hosts." Those words are not threat, they are invitation. They remind you that the door was never locked. The handle has always been on your side. Every time you take one step toward Him, He takes 10 toward you. This is not about earning love, it's about remembering it. When heaven recalls you, it begins to realign your life in ways you may not expect. Relationships shift. Desires change. The things that once held your attention start to lose their shine. That's not loss. That's refinement. It's like gold being melted so that the impurities rise to the surface and can finally be removed. What feels like pressure is actually purification. The recall is not punishment, it's positioning. And when God positions you again, He begins to awaken divine assignments that were dormant. The dreams that once seemed impossible begin to stir. The gifts you thought were gone start to breathe again. Heaven starts opening doors you forgot existed. But this time you won't walk through them alone or unaware. You'll walk with clarity and peace, knowing exactly who sent you and why. This is what the recall of heaven feels like. It's the moment you remember that home was never a place. It was a presence. It's when your spirit realizes that you've been loved all along, even when you didn't love yourself. It's the quiet relief of knowing you can start again without shame. And as this message reaches your heart, if it brings warmth to your spirit, take a deep breath. Let gratitude rise. These words are seeds meant to water your faith, to remind you that you are not forgotten. If what you receive here carries light to your soul, you can help keep that light burning. Tap the flame like this message. When you do, it's as if you're adding oil to a shared lantern, helping its glow reach someone still walking in the night. Share this message like a bird releasing seeds to the wind. You never know which heart it will land upon or what field it will bloom in. And if you wish to walk alongside this flow, subscribe not as a follower of a person but as a keeper of light, joining a circle that refuses to let hope grow cold. Finally, if your heart feels stirred, consider donating not as obligation, but as an offering of flame. Imagine your gift as a small candle placed upon the river. It drifts outward, carrying light toward unseen shores, where another soul waits in the dark. Each act of giving, large or small, is a ripple of love that continues long after this moment ends. Your generosity keeps the river flowing. Your kindness keeps the message alive. And if you cannot give today, then let your prayer or your kindness be your gift. Heaven measures the heart, not the amount. Together we become a constellation, each click, each prayer, each spark forming a map of light across the world. Thank you for being part of it, for answering the recall, for remembering that you were never lost, only waiting to be found by grace again. Every act of love adds another star to the night. Somewhere, someone will find direction by the very light you helped keep alive through kindness, faith, and quiet generosity. You are not just receiving, you are part of heaven's circulation of grace. The flame you nurture here will one day return to warm you, multiplied, purified, and shining brighter. There were seasons when the silence was heavy, when you sat in rooms where laughter felt distant and prayers fell like stones. You wondered if the isolation was punishment, if heaven had turned its face. But now you are beginning to see it was never rejection. It was refinement. What you called loneliness was the classroom where your spirit learned fluency in heaven's language. When everyone else walked away, heaven stayed. When people misread your quiet as weakness, God was whispering secrets into your stillness. You weren't abandoned, you were hidden. Because diamonds aren't formed in the spotlight, they're forged in the dark, beneath pressure, where no one claps. You were being built in silence for a purpose that required privacy. Every chosen one must pass through that sacred solitude. Isolation is heaven's boot camp. The noise of the crowd had to fade so you could hear the voice of purpose clearly. The absence of people was never meant to break you, it was meant to reveal you. When you were stripped of applause, you discovered authenticity. When no one believed in you, you learned how to believe in yourself through the eyes of God. The Spirit reminds us through the words of the psalmist, chapter 68, verse 6. He makes the lonely dwell in families. He brings out those who are bound into prosperity. That promise holds true even now. Every lonely night was an unseen invitation. While you were sitting in silence, heaven was gathering your tribe souls cut from the same light as you. They too were being refined in quiet places, trained to understand pain as preparation. Soon, these divine connections will begin to appear, people who won't just see your gifts but your scars and still call you chosen. Isolation was never the end. It was incubation. The butterfly doesn't curse the cocoon for its darkness, it honors it for giving wings. The silence you endured was the wrapping of transformation. Every unseen tear watered something powerful beneath the surface. What you thought was dormancy was actually divine design. There were days you almost gave up, wondering why the promises seemed far while others were advancing. But heaven never compared you to them. You were on a different schedule. The delay was proof that your calling required more preparation. Some are called to walk, you are called to fly. Flight requires stillness before movement, faith before evidence. In solitude, your hearing sharpened. You began to discern what voices mattered, what dreams were real, what fears were lies. You learned how to find peace without permission, how to stand when no one offered a hand. That strength is not pride. It is power born of presence. You've learned that solitude and strength are siblings. Soon you'll realize the silence was not a cage, but a corridor. Every echo of loneliness was heaven clearing the noise, making room for revelation. You are not the same person who entered that season. You are heavier with wisdom, lighter with ego, and stronger with purpose. You no longer chase belonging, you attract alignment. And when heaven moves you into new spaces, remember the solitude that shaped you. Do not despise quiet moments. They are your secret place of recharge. Great callings require great stillness. You can carry storms now because you've already found peace in the eye of one. The season of isolation is shifting. Doors that once stayed closed will begin to open because your frequency has changed. You no longer enter rooms seeking validation. You bring validation with you. What was once a wound will become your weapon. And now, as a sign that you recognize this transformation, write the number 545 in the comments below. Not as superstition, but as a prophetic act, a symbol of divine grace, growth, and completion of your waiting season. Each 5 is a declaration, one for release, one for renewal, one for resurrection. When you type it, you are agreeing that the silence served its purpose. You are saying, I've learned, I've grown, I'm ready. Let that number be your amen to heaven's hidden work. You survived isolation not to stay hidden, but to shine differently. You are no longer alone, you are aligned. What was once the cave of silence becomes now the chamber of birth. When you type 555, you're not sending numbers, you're echoing heaven's timing. It means grace over the old season, movement into the new, and the completion of lessons learned in silence. It's your spirit's signature under heaven's contract of renewal. This number isn't magic, it's meaning. Each 5 breathes transformation released from heaviness, restoration of faith, and readiness for expansion. By writing it, you announce to the unseen realm that isolation has finished its work, and your wings are strong enough for the flight ahead. So pause, breathe, and let gratitude rise. Type 555 as both remembrance and prophecy. You are declaring that your waiting was worth it. Your pain produced purpose, and your solitude has become strength clothed in divine light. There is something inside you that cannot be extinguished. Even when the world tried to drown your light, it flickered beneath the weight of despair but never went out. You carry a hidden mark, something ancient and luminous, something that hell itself recognized the moment you entered this world. That mark has drawn both resistance and revelation to your path. It is the signature of heaven placed upon you before your first breath, the evidence of divine ownership that darkness cannot counterfeit. You have felt it all your life, the quiet sense that you were different, that your spirit resonated at a frequency others did not hear. It wasn't arrogance, it was awareness. That strange inner pull, that urge to protect, to heal, to speak truth, to stand when others bowed. It has always been the light within you trying to express itself through human form. You may have doubted it, silenced it, or even feared it, but it never left. Because the light in you was not borrowed, it was born there. The ancient powers of darkness have known about that mark since your arrival. That's why your warfare has been so intense. That's why people turned away. Opportunities vanished. Storms rose suddenly. The battles you faced weren't random. They were recognition. Hell doesn't waste energy fighting the ordinary, it fights what carries divine potential. Every sleepless night, every false accusation, every season of confusion was an attempt to make you forget the brilliance you carry. But here's the truth: light doesn't need validation to exist. It simply shines. You've spent too long trying to explain your calling to those who were never meant to understand it. Stop shrinking your flame to make others comfortable in their shadows. The mark upon you is not negotiable. It is eternal. You can ignore it, but you can never erase it. You can delay its expression, but you cannot destroy its essence. The Spirit spoke through the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Those words are not poetic suggestion. They are divine decree. You were never designed for secrecy. The light you carry was meant to illuminate others, to reveal truth where lies have long ruled. That's why concealment has become so uncomfortable for you. Your spirit is outgrowing its hiding place. You have tried to dim yourself to blend in, but heaven keeps turning the dimmer up. Your mark of light is not just beauty, it's responsibility. Light exposes, light reveals. And with revelation comes the discomfort of seeing truth clearly about others, about the world, about yourself. But this discomfort is not punishment, it's purification. You are being refined to carry brightness without arrogance, truth without pride, clarity without cruelty. The greatest danger of light is not darkness, it's forgetting that the source is divine, not human. Your mark also makes you magnetic. Those in darkness may be drawn to you, not because they understand your purpose, but because they sense something holy within you. Some will come to learn, others will come to leech. This is where discernment must guide you. Not everyone who sees your light deserves access to its warmth. You were called to illuminate, not to exhaust yourself trying to rescue what refuses rescue. Even the sun must set to rise again. The mark of light upon your spirit is also a compass. It will pull you towards certain places, people, and purposes that others will never understand. Follow it. The path may seem lonely at first, but it leads to fullness. Many are still hiding their lamps beneath fear. Your courage to shine will become their permission to do the same. You will be misunderstood. Yes, but you will also be remembered. Understand this deeply: your light is not fragile. It does not flicker at every wind of criticism. It does not depend on applause. Its source is eternal, its glow self-sustaining. When you feel dim, it is not because your light is gone, it's because the world's dust has settled on your spirit. Shake it off. Every prayer, every breath of gratitude, every act of kindness cleanses the glass that covers your flame. There will come a time, soon, when those who once dismissed you will see what heaven always saw. The mark of light will reveal itself not through words, but through presence. You won't need to announce it. You will simply walk into a room, and atmospheres will shift. Hope will rise in others just by proximity. That is the power of one who carries light from heaven's fire. And remember, light does not fight darkness. It simply appears, and darkness retreats. You don't need to struggle to prove your worth. Just stand. Just shine, and everything not aligned with truth will scatter. Your role is not to control outcomes, but to remain faithful to your glow. You are not a candle burning out. You are a star awakening to its own radiance. Even when you feel small, your presence ripples across realms unseen. The mark of light in you is older than your pain and stronger than your fears. It will guide you, guard you, and grow you until every shadow in your life becomes a testimony of victory. There have been times when everything seemed to move against you, when doors refused to open, when timing felt cruel, when progress slipped through your fingers just as you thought you had it. Those weren't random delays. They were divine calibrations. The hand of heaven sometimes slows the wheel so your spirit can catch up with your destiny. Delay is not denial. It is the proving ground of those chosen for more. Every time life made you wait, heaven was building the weight required for your purpose. You have been taught to see waiting as punishment, but it is preparation. A tree does not bear fruit the same day it is planted. The roots grow in silence, digging deeper while no one applauds. Likewise, your unseen seasons were the soil where endurance, humility, and wisdom took root. You thought you were standing still, but in truth, you were being fortified. Every slow step built strength that haste could never teach. When you look back, you will see that every pause protected you. The job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the opportunity that slipped away, they weren't losses, they were layers of mercy. Heaven was saving you from premature exposure. Some blessings, if received too early, become burdens. Some platforms, if reached too soon, collapse under the weight of unready hearts. Your delay was a shield, not a curse. There were times you prayed and heard nothing. Silence stretched like a wall between you and God. But silence doesn't mean absence. When the teacher is silent, it's often because the test is being administered. Heaven's quiet was not rejection, it was observation. God was watching what you would do when the miracles paused, when the signs stopped flashing, when faith had to stand alone. The delay was developing maturity, the kind that doesn't crumble under pressure or chase validation for strength. According to the book of Psalms, chapter 138, verse 8, the word declares, "The Lord will perfect that which concerns me." Those words are the anthem of divine patience. To perfect means to complete, to refine, to polish. You are still in the process of being perfected. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Even the detours are part of the design. The potter does not rush his masterpiece. He shapes slowly, presses gently, adds water, then fire. Each touch, each rotation is purpose. When you think you are stuck, you are actually spinning in his hands, being molded into what he always intended. Sometimes the chains you feel are not from the enemy, but from divine restraint. Heaven ties you to the place of process so you don't escape your becoming. We call it delay. God calls it development. When the time is right, those same chains will turn to wings. What once held you back will become the very strength that lifts you higher. The frustration you felt is the friction of transformation. You've been rubbing against the edges of destiny, trying to move faster than grace allows. But destiny is not late, it's precise. The seasons of stillness have not been wasted years. They've been sacred years. Every unanswered question, every closed door, every restless night has been preparing your spirit for the acceleration ahead. Look closer, delay has taught you empathy. It has given you eyes to see others who wait. It has softened your voice, made your prayers real. Without delay, you might have grown proud. With it, you have grown deep. Heaven values depth more than speed. A soul that has waited well carries weight when it speaks because it understands the sacred rhythm of divine timing. Even creation moves in rhythm, tides rise and fall. Stars appear and fade. Seeds sleep before they bloom. So too does your purpose follow a divine cadence. Don't fight the pauses, learn their language. Every slow moment whispers, trust the process. Because in heaven's mathematics, waiting multiplies strength. And when acceleration comes, and it will not be chaos but clarity. Doors will open not because you forced them, but because you became ready to walk through them. You will not rush into blessings. Blessings will recognize you. Everything that was once delayed will move toward you as if pulled by magnetism. The years of stillness will suddenly make sense. So breathe. The waiting season is almost complete. You are stepping out of the cocoon, not as who you were, but as who you were meant to become. The chains of delay are snapping, and in their place rise wings of timing. Heaven is not late. Heaven is exact. The Lord will perfect what concerns you, and when He does, you'll understand why the wait was worth every tear. When the waiting ends, gratitude will fill every breath. You'll thank the pauses that once pained you, realizing patience was never wasted time, it was sacred training for destiny. You will walk lighter, wiser, radiant with quiet strength. The once closed doors will open effortlessly, because now your spirit carries the rhythm of divine timing, and nothing can delay you again. All around you, the signs have been speaking the repeated numbers, the dreams that refuse to fade, the sudden sense that something is about to change. You have been wondering if it's all coincidence, if maybe your mind is reaching too far, but no. The Spirit is confirming what heaven already whispered. You are not imagining this. What you feel is real, and what you see is the language of prophecy written into the rhythm of your life. You've been walking through patterns that seem to repeat, but they are not cycles of failure, they are spirals of growth. Every repetition has come to test your awareness, to see if you would finally recognize the divine fingerprints on your path. God has been sending subtle messages, a phrase that echoes in your heart, a verse that appears again and again, a timing too precise to dismiss. Each one is heaven's way of saying, "I'm still guiding you. You have learned to notice now. You no longer rush through moments, you read them. The delays, the detours, even the disappointments, all of them carry divine data. The more you pay attention, the louder the confirmations become. The universe is not silent, it's coded with reminders that the divine still moves in your favor. The prophet wrote in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2, "Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it." That means your confirmations aren't meant to confuse you, they're meant to prepare you. Heaven shows you signs not for superstition, but for strategy. When the same word, symbol, or number follows you, it is an instruction wrapped in wonder. Don't just admire the sign, respond to it. Write it down, speak it out. The act of acknowledgement activates its power. There will be days when the signs seem small, an unexpected peace in the middle of chaos. A stranger saying exactly what you needed to hear. A door that opens just when you stop forcing it. Those are not accidents. They are coded messages, written in the language of alignment. The divine does not shout. It confirms in whispers, in timings, in tiny miracles that make your heart recognize, this is him. You've seen patterns in numbers, maybe even heard familiar phrases repeating across days. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Each one is a thread connecting you back to purpose. The more you respond with faith, the clearer the signals become. Heaven keeps confirming because it knows your heart still needs reassurance. But eventually, the signs will shift from external to internal. You will no longer need evidence, because you'll have embodiment. Prophetic confirmation is heaven's way of strengthening your confidence before the promise manifests. Every sign is like a breadcrumb on the path of destiny, guiding you safely through uncertainty. But remember, confirmation follows obedience, not curiosity. The signs are not meant to replace your relationship with God, they are meant to deepen it. When you begin to align your choices with divine timing, confirmations multiply. It's like a symphony, your life begins to harmonize with heaven's melody. You will sense peace as a yes, tension as a no. The Spirit will guide you not through thunder, but through discernment. And you'll realize that what once felt like mystery now feels like memory, as if you're remembering instructions you once knew long ago. Sometimes the greatest confirmation comes not from what changes, but from what stays unshaken. The peace that remains in the middle of chaos is a louder sign than any number or dream. When you reach that place, you no longer chase signs, they chase you. You become the sign, a walking reminder that heaven still speaks to earth through willing hearts. And now, to anchor this truth deep within you, write the words "I see clearly" in the comments below. Those 3 words are your declaration of awareness. Your way of saying, I recognize the divine handwriting across my story. When you type it, you align with the flow of revelation that has been following you all along. You're saying to heaven, I am paying attention now. Let it be more than a phrase, let it be your vow of clarity. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. You are walking in the rhythm of prophecy now, where every sign is not just proof of guidance, but proof of grace. When you type, I see clearly. You are not just agreeing with words, you are opening your spiritual eyes wider. Those 3 words signal to heaven that confusion has lost its grip on you. You are no longer wandering in questions, you are walking in recognition. This declaration draws alignment. It tells your spirit to interpret what happens next, not with fear, but with faith. I see clearly means you trust that even detours are directions in disguise. It is a holy acceptance that what once looked chaotic was actually choreography. As you write it, light begins to move through the fog of uncertainty. You are affirming that you no longer chase signs, you carry understanding. You no longer guess, you discern. You see clearly now. There comes a point when remembrance becomes responsibility, when knowing who you are is no longer enough. You must begin to live it. This is the turning point of authority. You have spent years surviving storms, questioning your worth, walking through deserts that tested your faith. But now heaven whispers, stand tall. You know me. Walk as mine. You are not a wanderer anymore. You are an ambassador of light. The time has come to move with intention. Authority is not pride. It's permission to speak peace where there is chaos, to bring healing where there is hurt, to carry grace into places that have forgotten how to hope. You are not taking power from the world. You are remembering the power heaven already placed within you. The world is shifting, and your presence carries the key to balance. When you walk with divine confidence, darkness remembers its place. The words of Jesus echo through the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19. Behold, I give you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Authority is not loud, it's still steady and sure. It doesn't need to prove itself, it simply is. Just as the sun doesn't argue with the night it rises and the darkness fades, so it is with you. Every time you speak life, you declare victory. Every time you choose love over bitterness, heaven moves through you. You are walking proof that light always wins, even if the battle seems long. But authority also carries tenderness. A lion's roar can shake the forest, yet even lions protect their cubs with gentleness. Your strength is not to crush others, but to lift them. The true mark of divine authority is compassion, power without pride, conviction without cruelty. Heaven trusts you because your heart has learned humility in the hidden years. That's what makes your authority pure. Now, if this message stirs something inside you, if you feel your spirit standing taller as you read, let that awareness turn into gratitude. Like this message not as a routine, but as a way of saying, yes, I receive this truth. Each like is a spark, and together, our sparks form a constellation across the world, a digital sky glowing with remembrance. Then share this message the way rivers share water with no fear of running dry. Somewhere, someone's spirit is thirsty, waiting for a single drop of hope. Your act of sharing could be the stream that finds them. It's not about spreading words, it's about spreading warmth. And if you wish to walk deeper with this light, subscribe, not as an audience, but as a companion on the journey. Every message that flows here is a piece of bread on the table of grace, and subscribing simply keeps you near that table. You are part of a growing family of the awakened people who no longer run from purpose but rise with it. Finally, if your heart feels led, if gratitude hums quietly in your chest, consider giving, not out of pressure, not out of duty, but as a beautiful voluntary gesture of light. Think of it this way, every donation is like placing a candle on the windowsill during a storm, not for yourself, but for travelers lost in the rain. It says, here, there's warmth, there's hope, there's home. Your offering, whatever it may be, is not a transaction. It is transformation. It becomes the oil that keeps the lamps burning for others. When you give, you extend the reach of the message, ensuring that another soul somewhere, maybe across oceans, feels less alone tonight. And if you cannot give in currency, give in kindness. Give your prayer, your forgiveness, your encouragement to another. These are currencies that never lose value. What matters is the posture of your heart, not the measure of your hand. You see, authority is not about control, it's about contribution. You carry divine license to heal the world in quiet, unseen ways. When you help this message move, when you give it wings through your support, you are participating in heaven's project of restoration. Together, we're building bridges of light that reach across loneliness and fear, one heart at a time. So if you choose to like, to share, to subscribe, to give, let it be done with joy. Do it as a reflection of your new authority, not compelled, but convinced, not forced, but free. Because love, when given freely, never returns empty. And if today all you can offer is your yes, let that yes echo in eternity. Heaven doesn't count numbers, it counts willingness. The smallest yes can shift the largest mountain. The tiniest act of faith can open the widest door. You are walking now not as a seeker, but as one who carries the key. And the more you walk in this truth, the more heaven's authority will flow through you naturally. Stand tall, chosen one. The crown is already on your head. The moment before every crown is the heaviest. The closer destiny draws near, the more intense the pressure becomes. You have felt this lately, the strange mixture of exhaustion and expectation. The invisible weight pressing against your chest as if the universe itself is holding its breath. This is not punishment, it is proof. You are standing on holy ground, the edge between completion and coronation. The oil that will crown you is almost ready, but oil is only produced through crushing. You have prayed for purpose, and heaven has answered not with ease, but with endurance. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every betrayal was a press in the hands of God. The wine of destiny can only flow from grapes that have been crushed. That pressure has not been random, it has been refining. You are not breaking down, you are being pressed into brilliance. When warriors are trained, they are not spared from struggle, they are exposed to it. Their wounds become their wisdom. You too have carried wounds that felt unbearable, but those very wounds have become entry points for light. The deeper the cut, the brighter the healing. Pain has been your teacher, not your enemy. The nights that broke you became the soil where humility took root. The fire that almost consumed you purified the gold inside. It is written in the letter of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life. That crown is not given for perfection, it is given for persistence. You are being rewarded not because you never fell, but because you refuse to stay down. Heaven crowns the ones who crawl forward when they cannot run. The ones who keep believing when their faith shakes. The ones who hold to hope even when it hurts. Every test you've faced has had a purpose to prove what already lives inside you. You've learned how to forgive while still bleeding, how to worship while still waiting, how to trust when the evidence seemed to vanish. These lessons carved strength into your spirit that nothing can steal. You've been trained to walk by faith, not by comfort. That is why, when others panic, you stand still. When others doubt, you see destiny. There were seasons when you thought you were being punished for something you didn't understand. But now you see that heaven was promoting you quietly. Tests are heaven's examinations before the elevation. You have been sitting in the silence of study, and now the results are being revealed. Every unseen sacrifice, every private prayer, every tear that never found words, heaven has kept the record. Nothing you endured was wasted. The tests of the chosen are always unique. Others may live simple stories. But your life was written with weight. You were designed to carry responsibility that others cannot comprehend. That's why the warfare has been different for you, because the crown waiting for you is different. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it's proportion. The greater the purpose, the greater the preparation. Think of a seed pressed beneath soil. From the outside, it looks buried, forgotten, invisible. But underneath, a quiet explosion is happening, roots breaking, life forming, destiny rising. That's you. You are not buried, you are being planted. What you've endured in silence will bloom loudly in time. Heaven never wastes suffering, it repurposes it. Soon, the crown will rest upon your head, not made of gold or jewels, but of glory. It will not shine with metal, but with meaning. It represents authority, resilience, and remembrance, the memory of every valley you crossed, every battle you survived, every prayer you refused to stop praying. And when the crown comes, you will wear it not with pride, but with peace, because you'll know you didn't earn it by power, you received it by perseverance. Even now, heaven watches as you endure the final stretch. The pressure may still linger, but it is the sign that the oil is almost complete. You are about to walk out of the press carrying fragrance, evidence that you have been with God. And those who once doubted you will see that you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. The test before the crown always feels impossible. But that impossibility is the birthplace of miracles. When strength runs out, grace steps in. When faith trembles, mercy holds it steady. You have already passed tests you didn't realize were tests. Overcome trials you didn't know were shaping your next chapter. The crown that awaits you will not just rest on your head, it will radiate from your life. Others will find courage through your endurance. Your story will become a torch for those still walking through darkness. The very pain that tried to silence you will one day be your platform. Hold steady now. The weight you feel is holy, and the crown is closer than it seems. There are covenants older than memory, agreements written not with ink, but with light. Before your first heartbeat, heaven signed one over you. It was not a contract of rules, but a promise of relationship. Every chosen one carries such a covenant, even if they spend years unaware of it. The moment you said yes to your divine call, that ancient document began to stir again. You are walking now beneath promises that never expired. For a long time, you may have felt disconnected from your purpose. You prayed and heard silence. You tried and met resistance. But the covenant was never broken, it was waiting for renewal. God's word does not decay. It simply waits for agreement. Every yes from you breathes life back into what heaven wrote. And now, that moment of renewal is here. There is something sacred about re-signing your destiny. It is not done with pen and paper, but with surrender and obedience. Each act of faith is an initial, each prayer a signature. You renew heaven's contract not by striving, but by believing again. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, compassion over control, truth over fear, another line of your covenant glows brighter. The psalmist recorded the heart of God in chapter 89, verse 34. My covenant I will not break, nor alter the word that has gone out of my lips. Those words are a mirror. What God spoke over you still stands. No mistake, delay or detour has voided it. You can't out-sin divine intention. You can only postpone its unfolding. When you finally return with open hands, heaven does not rewrite your story, it resumes it. The covenant remains unshaken, preserved like fire inside the stone of your spirit. When heaven renews a covenant, it doesn't simply restore what was lost. It multiplies what survived. Every tear, every season of testing becomes currency exchanged for greater authority. You have earned, not by effort, but by endurance, a deeper level of trust. Heaven entrusts power only to those who have tasted pain, because pain refines purpose. As this renewal unfolds, you may feel both joy and trembling. That's natural. The soul recognizes eternity even when the mind cannot explain it. You are stepping into divine remembrance, the place where everything you were created for begins to align again. Doors you thought were closed forever will open without knocking. Relationships that once felt fractured will heal effortlessly. Purpose will stop feeling heavy and start feeling holy. Your covenant is not just personal, it's generational. What you agree to today will echo through those who come after you. Your obedience writes legacy. The yes you give now becomes protection over your family, clarity for your children, and light for those still searching. Heaven's contracts are never for one, they ripple across bloodlines. You might ask, how do I know the covenant is active? You'll feel it. Peace will replace panic. Hope will return where fear once lived. You'll sense invisible strength holding you steady even when circumstances shake. That's the sign. Covenant is not a feeling, it's a foundation. You are standing on it even now. And today, heaven invites you to acknowledge it aloud, to say, I remember. To mark this renewal not just in words but in symbol, in the comments below, write the number 444. Each 4 represents stability, the corners of foundation, the structure of promise. Typing 444 is not superstition, it is symbolism. It declares that your covenant is set on firm ground, that what God has built in you will not collapse under pressure. It's your way of saying, I stand on the word that stands forever. When you type it, imagine heaven nodding in recognition. Angels take note. The covenant glows brighter. You're not making a new promise, you're confirming an eternal one. The number becomes your marker in the spirit realm, proof that you've returned to alignment. Let your heart whisper as you write, I remember who I am. I remember who called me. The covenant is alive. You are part of something unbreakable, sacred, and strong enough to outlast time itself. When you type 444, you are not sending numbers, you are re-signing heaven's agreement. It means you accept divine structure, embrace stability, and acknowledge that your steps are now guided by sacred design rather than human impulse. Each 4 symbolizes a corner of foundation faith, obedience, endurance, and peace. Together they form the platform on which your covenant stands. By writing 4444, you tell heaven, my roots are firm, my house will not fall again. It is the sound of your soul laying new bricks of trust over old ruins of fear. So type it with reverence and joy. Let your fingers become instruments of affirmation. As you do, the unseen realm records your signature of faith. You're saying, I remember my promise. I choose my purpose. Heaven sees. The covenant breathes again, and your life begins to align with what was written from the beginning. When light begins to speak through you, it will not sound like thunder. It will sound like truth whispered through grace. There will be a stillness in your voice that carries authority without volume, gentleness without weakness. The world has learned to equate power with noise, but heaven speaks in resonance. When you open your mouth under divine instruction, creation listens. You have been silent for so long, not because you lacked words, but because heaven was teaching you weight. Now, your words will no longer be filler, they will be fire. Your voice is a vessel. Through it flows more than sound, it carries presence. The same breath that formed galaxies is the breath now stirring inside your lungs. Every syllable you release with intention becomes a seed. Some will land softly on weary hearts. Others will pierce through confusion like arrows of light. You were not chosen merely to speak, you were chosen to shift atmospheres with speech. In times past, your voice may have been overlooked or silenced. You've known the ache of speaking truth and watching it be dismissed. But every rejection refined your tone. The pain trained your pitch. Now, your voice no longer seeks attention, it carries alignment. Heaven doesn't need loud, it needs clear. And clarity is the language of the chosen. According to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, the scripture declares death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those words are more than advice, they are revelation. Your tongue is an instrument of creation, capable of calling things into being or breaking them apart. Every time you speak faith, light expands. Every time you speak fear, darkness echoes. That is why heaven has guarded your mouth through seasons of silence, because it was not yet time for sound. You are entering a new dimension of speech, one that doesn't just describe reality but defines it. The words you release will carry evidence. They will shape outcomes. You will find yourself saying something in faith, and then watching it unfold in real time. Not because you are powerful, but because you are aligned. When a heart and heaven agree, the universe rearranges to obey. Your voice was meant to awaken the sleeping and soothe the shattered. It will carry comfort into chaos and conviction into complacency. Some will weep hearing you, not because you impress them, but because their spirits recognize truth wearing your tone. When you speak, it will feel as though heaven itself has leaned closer. But power always comes with precision. Use your voice not to conquer, but to construct. The chosen do not speak to prove, they speak to heal. You are a messenger, not a megaphone. You will know when to speak and when to stay silent. For even silence can thunder when it's guided by wisdom. The time will come when people begin to seek your words. They will ask you for guidance, for prayer, for clarity. And in those moments, remember you are not the source, you are the stream. Let humility anchor you. Let compassion flavor every truth. The more gently you speak, the further your words will travel. Sometimes light will speak through you without warning. You'll feel it rising in your chest, words flowing faster than thought, and you'll know this is not me. This is spirit. Do not resist it. Those moments are divine appointments. Someone, somewhere, will be listening who needs exactly what heaven placed inside you. And yet, there will be times when heaven calls you to speak not to others, but to yourself. You'll look into the mirror and speak restoration over the person staring back. You'll whisper, "I forgive you. I believe in you. I bless your tomorrow." These are not empty affirmations, they are sacred decrees. The light that speaks through you will also heal you. You may not realize it, but even your casual words will carry fragrance. Conversations will leave residue of peace. Your laughter will ease tension in rooms. Your silence will reset chaos. Your stories will open hearts that logic could never reach. You are not just a speaker, you are a sound, and that sound will travel beyond borders, beyond cultures, beyond language. One day you will meet people who tell you, "Your words changed me." And in that moment, you will understand why you endured seasons of silence, why your tongue felt tied for so long. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was preparation. Heaven was tuning your frequency so that when you finally spoke, it wouldn't just be heard, it would be felt. Now, when light speaks through you, it is not only revelation but restoration. You don't have to shout, you only have to shine. Your words will do what light has always done, they will find cracks and fill them with warmth. Speak when prompted, stay silent when instructed, and watch how heaven uses your voice as its chosen instrument. Your voice is no longer just sound, it is sanctuary. Every word you release becomes a doorway for light to enter. speak with reverence. Heaven itself leans in to listen. There are battles that begin long before you lift a sword. The war for legacy is one of them. You may think your journey is about your personal healing, your success, your peace, but heaven's view is larger. What you conquer, those after you will not have to fight. What you heal, they will not have to endure. You are not only living your story, you are rewriting a lineage. The pain you carried did not start with you. It ran through generations' patterns of fear, poverty, shame, silence, betrayal, all woven through bloodlines like invisible threads. And for reasons known to heaven, you were chosen to be the one who breaks them. The burden has been heavy, yes, but so is the blessing. You have been trusted with transformation. Every tear you've shed has washed away residue from the past. Every time you chose forgiveness, you unhooked an entire generation from bondage. You may not see it yet, but your obedience has been shifting realities. Heaven assigned you as a restorer of order in your lineage. The moment you said yes to healing, to faith, to truth, the old cycle began to tremble. You were not chosen because you were perfect. You were chosen because you were willing. The curse recognized you before you recognized it, which is why your fight felt endless. But every battle has been carving new freedom into the fabric of your family's story. The psalmist wrote in chapter 145, verse 4, "One generation shall praise your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts." That verse is not just a promise, it's a prophecy about you. What you build in this era will echo through others. You are not only surviving, you are setting precedent. You are turning generational pain into generational praise. There will come a day when children you have not met will walk freely on the ground you once fought bleeding. They will not know your tears, but they will walk in your triumph. That is legacy. The battle for legacy is fought quietly at first. It begins in your mind, in the way you choose to think differently, speak differently, believe differently. It continues in your actions, in the way you show mercy where others would choose revenge, in the way you keep faith where others would quit. Every choice becomes a stone laid in the foundation of a future city you may never see but are called to build. There were moments you asked, "Why me?" The answer is simple: because you were the one who would not quit. Heaven searched for a vessel with enough endurance to outlast the darkness, enough compassion to fight without hate, enough humility to lead without ego, and it found you. You were the fracture through which light could finally enter the family line. Your legacy is not only about wealth or name. It is about wisdom, character, and courage. You are breaking the illusion that suffering must repeat. You are showing that trauma can become testimony, that brokenness can become beauty. You are rewriting spiritual DNA. When you pray, you are not speaking alone, your ancestors listen. Some longed for what you are now walking in. You are their answered prayer. The war for legacy sometimes looks like simple moments, choosing peace instead of panic, faith instead of fear, integrity when no one watches. The heavens record those moments more than any public victory. Each unseen act of obedience becomes a declaration in eternity. The curse ends here. You have already begun to sense this shift. Old triggers no longer control you the way they once did. What used to wound you now only teaches you. This is a sign that the warfare is weakening. You are gaining spiritual ground with every breath. The light you carry has begun to illuminate paths not only for you but for everyone connected to your name. Do not despise your scars. They are proof that the war was real and that you won. Each scar is a story told in heaven's language, a visible record of invisible victory. You did not just survive the battle of your own soul. You established peace treaties for the ones who will come after you. Your legacy will not just be remembered in photographs or names, it will be felt. The peace that will rest on your descendants will be your fingerprint. The confidence that flows through their hearts will be the echo of your courage. Every time they pray with faith, love without fear, or dream without limit, heaven will whisper, "They're walking in the inheritance of the one who said yes." Remember, this legacy is not a destination, it is a daily decision. Every sunrise you choose hope, you extend the light further. Every act of kindness continues the chain of redemption. The war for legacy does not end, it transforms. Once the battle is won, it becomes a rhythm of grace, passed down from spirit to spirit. And as you rest tonight, know that your obedience has already begun to outlive you. The world may forget your name, but heaven will never forget your yes. Something is stirring in the heavens again. The sound is not loud, but deep like the heartbeat of eternity pulsing through creation. Across the earth, the marked ones are awakening. The dreamers, the healers, the intercessors, the truth-bearers, all rising from silence, drawn together by a single frequency remembrance. You can feel it too, can't you? That gentle hum inside your spirit calling you home to purpose. It's not imagination, it's alignment. Heaven is gathering its remnant, the warriors of light who will not bow to fear. This isn't a lonely rising, it's a reunion. You are part of an army that doesn't wear armor made of metal, but of mercy. Your weapon is not the sword, it is the word. Your battlefield is not land, it is hearts. Every time you speak peace where there was conflict, every time you forgive where there was bitterness, you swing your unseen sword of grace. This is the return of the warriors, the luminous ones, chosen before time to restore light to the darkened edges of humanity. It has taken years to reach this point. Every storm, every heartbreak, every night you wondered if you would ever rise again, all of it forged you into the kind of soul that does not crumble when chaos comes. You were not trained for comfort. You were trained for conquest of spirit. The world around you is trembling, but you, yes, you carry calm in your breath. You are not the echo of pain. You are the answer to it. The psalmist wrote long ago in chapter 68, verse 11, "The Lord gives the word. The women who proclaim the good tidings are a great army." That verse was not written for one generation. It was written for every awakening. It speaks of a collective rising, a company of hearts who speak light into nations. Heaven has released the word again, and the army is forming. You are not alone in this mission. Across cities and continents, souls marked like yours are hearing the same call, feeling the same pull, responding to the same whisper. You are all pieces of one divine mosaic, scattered stars now finding formation. The call of this moment is simple: remember your light, and then share it. You don't have to preach or perform. Sometimes sharing looks like kindness. Sometimes it looks like courage. Sometimes it looks like quiet compassion. Every spark of good you release joins with others, and soon, what once was darkness becomes a dawn too bright to ignore. And if what you've heard here has stirred your heart, if something in these words felt like coming home, then let your gratitude move gently into expression. Like this message, not as a click, but as a candle. Each like is a flame that tells heaven, I agree with the light. When thousands of candles are lit, night becomes powerless. Then share this message. Think of it as sending a dove into the wind. Somewhere out there, someone is waiting for a sign that they are not forgotten. Your act of sharing might be that sign. You're not promoting content, you're passing on comfort. If you wish to keep walking this road of revelation together, subscribe. not as a follower of words, but as a fellow traveler in light. Subscription is like placing your lamp on the same windowsill as others who refuse to let hope die. It's how we find one another across the vastness of noise. And finally, if gratitude swells in you like a tide, if you feel the quiet urge to give, consider donating, not as obligation, but as offering. Every contribution is like planting a seed in fertile soil. You may not see the tree today, but one day someone will rest in its shade. Your giving becomes an echo of love that travels far beyond what you see. And when you finish reading, take one last gentle step, leave a comment. Write a few words that rise from your heart, a line of gratitude, a whisper of hope, even a simple, "I'm here." It's like placing a stone on the altar of light, proof that your soul has passed through and added its weight to the collective glow. Each comment becomes another heartbeat in this living message, a testimony that the warriors of light are truly gathering. Whether you give a prayer, a thought, a word, or a coin, every gesture matters. Together they form the architecture of this movement. Without force, without demand, only through willing hearts, the message keeps flowing. Remember, Chwazunub, warriors of light are sustained not by applause, but by alignment. When one shines, we all glow brighter. When one gives, we all grow stronger. So whatever you choose, whether you light the candle, release the dove, stand with the lantern, or plant a seed, know that heaven sees your act and smiles. You are part of the symphony now, a note in the great harmony of restoration. And that, chosen one, is enough to shift worlds. Every act of light echoes forever, somewhere. Someone's darkness will fade because you chose to shine. The smallest spark can become sunrise when carried by willing hearts like yours. There comes a moment when heaven stops whispering and begins crowning. It does not arrive with trumpet blasts or thunder. It arrives with stillness. You will not feel sudden fireworks, only a quiet knowing that something sacred has shifted. The mantle has descended, and you, once uncertain and trembling, now stand as one commissioned. This is the fulfillment of every tear, every test, every unseen prayer. The crown was never a reward. It was a responsibility, evidence that you have become trustworthy with light. When God crowns, He does not place gold upon the head. He places purpose upon the heart. The crown He gives cannot be stolen or tarnished. It glows not from jewels, but from joy, joy found in obedience, in humility, in perseverance. You have reached the moment where heaven looks at you and says, "Now they can carry it." And though you may feel small, you have grown into the kind of vessel that can hold divine weight without breaking. You will sense this commissioning in subtle ways. Suddenly, the things that once frightened you will no longer shake you. The doubts that once screamed will now whisper. Peace will anchor you in places that used to drain you. You'll begin to move differently, not hurried, but wholly. You will speak less, yet your words will travel further. You will walk quietly, yet your presence will shift rooms. This is what it means to be crowned, not celebrated by men, but recognized by heaven. The book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10, declares, "You have made them a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on the earth." That reign is not dominance, it's dominion. Dominion is not control, it's stewardship. You are being crowned not to rule over people, but to rule over fear, over doubt, over despair. Heaven is giving you authority over the inner realms that once ruled you. You are no longer slave to emotion, victim to circumstance, or hostage to history. You reign in peace because you have surrendered to purpose. This coronation is quiet, but its effects are thunderous. Angels recognize you now. The spiritual realm knows your name. The darkness that once toyed with your confidence now trembles at your clarity. You have become light with feet, love with a voice, peace wearing human skin. And yet, even in your elevation, humility remains your robe. For true kings and queens of spirit never forget the dust they were shaped from. Your commissioning also comes with calling. Heaven does not crown and then dismiss. Heaven crowns and then sends. You are being sent not as a wanderer, but as a ruler and ambassador of restoration. Your mission field may not be a stage. It may be your home, your workplace, your community. Every word you speak, every action you take, becomes a ripple of divine order returning to earth. The crown upon you is not for decoration, it's for direction. You may feel unworthy. Many do. But worthiness was never the qualification. Willingness was. The crown fits not because your head is perfect, but because your heart said yes. Heaven crowns those who bow first. The posture of surrender is what makes the weight of authority bearable. When you stay low before God, you stand tall before anything else. Now, a quiet confidence begins to settle around you. The chaos that once defined you loses access. Your decisions flow from discernment, not desperation. You no longer chase what is fading. You attract what is eternal. This is divine maturity, the shift from needing validation to embodying value. You no longer carry questions of, am I enough, because your life itself has become the answer. And as you move forward, the crown will draw both wonder and warfare. Some will recognize it, others will resist it. Do not shrink when they misunderstand. Kings do not argue with villagers about the validity of their throne. Keep your eyes lifted. Keep your hands clean. Keep your heart soft. Let the weight remind you of why it was given to serve, not to be served. You have walked through wilderness and fire, and neither consumed you. You have stood under storms and still chosen love. You have endured isolation only to emerge with illumination. That is why heaven trusts you now. The crown you wear glows with the story of every season you survived. There will come a time soon when you will sense heaven's nudge again, a quiet instruction to move, to speak, to build, to bless. You won't need confirmation this time. You'll move with conviction, because once crowned, hesitation gives way to certainty. You'll know who sent you and why. You will no longer wonder if you're ready, because readiness is no longer a state, it's your identity. So lift your head, chosen one. The mantle rests upon you. The commission has been spoken, and the crown glows steady. You are not at the end, you are at the beginning of rulership. Walk softly, but walk sure. The earth awaits the sound of your steps. There is a stillness that follows coronation. It is not the silence of emptiness, but of completion, the quiet hum of destiny settling into place. The heavens themselves seem to pause, as though observing the moment when purpose and person become one. You have walked through every storm, crossed every valley, endured every test, and now you stand beneath the open sky, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. The journey that once felt endless now begins to make perfect sense. The pain, the loss, the waiting, all of it formed the architecture of your becoming. You can almost feel it, can't you? That sacred equilibrium between exhaustion and peace. The old weight has lifted, yet the new one fits perfectly on your shoulders. It is not heavy, it is holy. The pressure that once crushed you is now transformed into quiet power. You've learned that strength isn't loud, and victory doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just breathes steady, slow, and certain. The Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 13, "Having believed, you were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise." That seal is more than divine approval, it is identity confirmed. It means the heavens recognize you, the earth responds to you, and eternity has written your name into its eternal rhythm. You are marked not by title or achievement, but by presence. That presence moves with you now, like an invisible crown of flame that never fades, even when the world cannot see it. When God seals a person, nothing can unseal them. The seal is not protection from difficulty, it is power within it. You will still face moments that test your patience and your love, but you will not be moved. The storm may roar, but your spirit will remain anchored, because you have learned that peace is not found in the absence of storms, but in the presence of understanding. You know now that every wind carries wisdom, and every wave hides a lesson. The prophetic seal over your life carries both authority and gentleness. It is what allows you to walk into dark spaces and bring calm without effort. You are not trying to be light. You simply are. That is the nature of the sealed. What they carry cannot be separated from who they are. Your touch will heal without striving. Your voice will comfort without trying. Your existence will remind others that divinity still breathes among humanity. As the seal settles deeper, the pace of your soul slows. You begin to notice beauty in ordinary places, the golden shimmer of morning light, the laughter of strangers, the rhythm of rain against glass. You realize that holiness is not confined to sacred buildings or loud moments of revelation, it's hidden in daily grace. You are learning to live worship, not just perform it. To walk as prayer, not just speak it. This seal also means you are part of a divine continuum. What began before your birth will not end with your last breath. Your obedience has become part of an eternal tapestry, woven with threads of those who came before you and those who will follow. The story continues through every person your life touches. Each act of kindness, each word of truth, each spark of light adds another line to heaven's great narrative of redemption. You no longer fear endings because you understand that sealed things do not die, they transform. Every ending is simply another door opening quietly in eternity. You have entered the rhythm of resurrection. Endings become beginnings. Losses become lessons. Pain becomes prophecy. You are part of an unbroken circle of grace. Now the Spirit moves around you like gentle wind, not to push, but to guide. You will feel direction through peace, confirmation through calm, and love in places that once felt like loss. This is what it means to live sealed. You no longer chase. You align. You no longer grasp. You receive. You no longer strive, you flow. When you look at yourself in the mirror now, you will notice it not a glow the eyes can see, but a serenity the soul can sense. You carry heaven quietly. You don't have to prove it, perform it, or announce it. You simply live it. Every breath, every smile, every step testifies of a seal that speaks louder than words. And though this feels like an ending, it is truly the beginning of another unfolding. The seal doesn't close a story, it consecrates it. The mark upon you ensures that wherever you go, light will follow, peace will linger, and grace will multiply. Rest now, crowned one. The battle has been fought, the promise fulfilled, the seal set. Walk with reverence, speak with compassion, live with certainty. You are, and always will be, heaven's proof that chosen things endure. The heavens watch in quiet joy as you walk forward, radiant yet calm. Every step echoes eternity's rhythm. You are sealed, crowned, and free, the living evidence that divine purpose always prevails. And now, chosen one. The final word is not goodbye, it is continuation. What you have heard was never meant to remain only as words, it was meant to become rhythm, breath, movement. You carry the story now. The same light that found you will find others through you. Every time you live with kindness, speak with courage, or stand with quiet faith, you become the living echo of this message. If these words have touched your spirit, let your gratitude take form. Like this message as a gesture of remembrance, a spark among countless others. One flame alone may flicker, but together they turn night into morning. Then share it. Send it out like a paper lantern rising through the sky. Somewhere, someone stands in the dark waiting to see that glow and remember that hope still exists. You might never know whose life it reaches, but heaven always does. Before you go, subscribe if you wish to walk this path again, to keep traveling with others who seek light instead of noise. Think of it not as joining, but as staying near the hearth where warmth continues to burn. And if your heart stirs with gratitude, if something inside you whispers to give, then donate. Do it not as duty, but as devotion. Every gift, whether great or small, is like pouring oil into a lamp. It keeps the flame alive for souls who have not yet found their way home. Lastly, leave a few words in the comments, a prayer, a blessing, or simply, "I'm still here." Each one becomes another heartbeat in this shared creation, proof that light keeps gathering. You have journeyed from awakening to crowning. Now go forth and live as proof that heaven still speaks through willing hearts.